this is part 2 of the video that I was discussing. This is question 6 of the exam ERM on fall 2017. I'm going to do part B, and just a little bit of a backup here. Key rate durations, how I interpret it is it's basically a weighted average of all of your durations at each time to get like your portfolio, but you want to match on your key rate durations. That way non-parallel shifts in interest rates can still have your portfolio immunized. Then you can have these scenarios happen, like scenarios 1, 2, and 3 happen, and you'd still be immunized because you're good on those set durations. Now, again, if there was like a shift here at like 1.5 and then that interest rate shifted, it's not going to protect against it because we've only been focused on durations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But now we have here on part B, there's an actuary that suggested that we just buy zero coupon bonds on for the 2-year and the 4-year, and now we need to look at what happens to our change of equity if a non-parallel shift happens. This is scenario 3, which is the craziest one, and so here we go. This is how I structured it right here. And so you'll see here in row 13, this is the shift in basis points. And how I interpret it is we do the amount of duration, key rate duration that we calculated, and you multiply it by the basis point change right here. If the actuary just suggested to do half of our assets for the 2-year and half for the 4-year, there's 550, which is just half of the 1,100, which, by the way, the assets sum up to 1,100, which perfectly equals our reserves. So our equity is 0 currently. Our key rate duration, again, is just the weighted average of the durations. So we have 2 and 4, and if each of those have a weight of 1/2, then the duration is 3. So our effective duration perfectly matches our effective duration of our liabilities, but we're not fully immunized against non-parallel shifts because we've only done 2 and 4 for our assets. So going back down here, again, I was saying where you just take the basis point change and you multiply it by the key rate duration. And then when you sum all of those up, for the assets, it's a 69 basis point right there decrease. Now it's kind of backwards because if interest rates go up right here, so what happens to the value of our bonds? Well, interest rates go up, the value of our bonds goes down. And this, for the most part, is an up scenario for the interest rates. So our assets are going to go up, down, and our liabilities are also going to go down. But we need to figure out which one goes down more and what is our new equity. So right here, this is measuring the amount of decrease. So we got a 69 basis point decrease in our assets, and you do the same thing for the liabilities. I spelled liability there wrong, but you just take the key rate duration and you multiply it by the basis point shift, and see right here, this has a larger decrease if you sum all of these up. And so now our new asset value is, this is how I did it. I just did 1 minus the basis point change. I have to divide that by 100 because that's not 69%, it's basis points. And then I multiplied it by our total assets. I did the same thing for our liability. So here we have an equity value of 1 instead of 0. So we had a change of equity of positive 1 because of this scenario change.